Somewhere along the line, I've heard somebody say pimpin' ain't easy. And I'm thinking about this phrase, pimpin' ain't easy. And I'm thinking to myself, I know nothing about pimpin'. I don't know if it's easy or not easy or whatever else. But that's a really stupid phrase for people to be using. And then for whatever reason, my brain goes to something that I do know about, which is love. And I thought to myself, man, loving ain't easy. I do all this talking on MySpace and when I minister out and things about God loving people and how we should love our neighbors. And I even wrote a book called Love Thy Neighbor. And but the truth of the matter is love is not something that's easy to do. It's not something that we just do naturally. I don't think that it's something that's even inherently easy for humans to do, because by nature everything that we are is it kind of butts heads with what love is from a biblical perspective. A few weeks ago I talked about what the biblical definition of love is from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, and it says that love is patient and love is kind and it doesn't envy and it is not boastful and it's not proud and it's not rude and it's not self-seeking and it's not easily angered and it keeps no records of wrong, and love doesn't delight in evil but rejoices in the truth, and so on and so forth. But when I thought about it, all of those things are contrary to human nature. And by human nature, I'm not patient, and most of the time I'm not kind, and sometimes I'm envious, and sometimes I'm boastful and proud, and I'm rude, and it's just my nature. It's my human nature. But loving is a discipline. And a few years ago, I was trying to discipline myself in this capacity. I was an associate pastor at a church, and there was a lady at our church that just was so freaking irritating, man. I mean, she'd just rub me the wrong way. Now, other people probably liked her, but for whatever reason, it was very, very difficult for me to show any type of kindness to this lady. I just didn't like her, and I kind of felt like God was dealing with my heart about that, this being a lady in our church and things, and that I really should try to do the right thing. I mean, of course, I'm a minister in the church. I should be doing what's right by people. And so I went up to her. I determined that I was going to discipline myself to love this lady, and I walked up to her after a church service, and I said to her, I just want you to know I love you. And that was hard for me, because that was talking out of faith, that I was believing God was going to help me love her by telling her these kinds of things. I was just being obedient to His word, right? And she looked at me and she said, "Well, Pastor Aaron, I didn't even think you liked me." And that was funny to me, but it was also very humbling. I was embarrassed because obviously I had led this lady to believe that I didn't like her, which in truth I didn't. And so it was tough. It was one of those things that was difficult for me to get through. I by nature am a very sarcastic person, and I'm very kind of almost sometimes obnoxious, and to be nice to people that I don't care for is a discipline for me. And so when I got to thinking about human nature versus God's nature and recognizing that God is love, and we talked about what love is, it hit me. These things are disciplines. In order to be like Christ, or to be Christ-like, and to love as God loves, to love God and to love our neighbor, it's going to be a discipline for us. Just because we're Christians doesn't mean it's going to come easy. Just because you love God doesn't mean you're just naturally going to love everybody that's around you. Now, the love of God you can learn to walk in that despite the situations, but it's going to buck your human nature. So don't be down on yourself, but recognize that it is a discipline that we love our neighbors, and that it's important that we seek to operate in love, and we discipline ourselves to operate in love, even though our flesh wants to buck up and do everything that's contrary to it. Anyhow, I thought you might appreciate me being a little bit transparent tonight, and I thought that the story was kind of humorous as I recalled it, and thought I'd share it with y'all. Anyway, I love you. I'm looking forward to hearing great things from everybody, and as always, if you can dig it, say word. Just say you